man, I guess because of the push right there, kind of like a get off me a little bit. But she's holding it right there. Look at the hand checking, right? We got the hand checking going on the hip. Putting it on the chest. How you hand checking? You can't hand check. This isn't the 80s. What are we doing? Hold on, man. She's hand checking right here. Then Caitlin trying to get by, right? But her hand's still there.
Caitlin Clark just served up a revenge platter hotter than Indiana humidity, flipped the script like her own Netflix special, and turned the dream into a full-blown nightmare. After getting bodied days ago, the Indiana Fever pulled up with receipts, smoke, and buckets like they'd finally read the basketball manual. What went down? Elbows flew, egos bruised, and Clark? She torched them. Did she just silence the haters again? Buckle up, this one's juicier than a courtside nacho spill.
CC gang, Fever gang. That's how you bounce back and get a W versus the Atlanta Dream. Hey, Rhyne Howard, you ain't pointing to the bench and talking all that shit now, are you? Go sit your goofy ass down. Brianna Jones, all you do is scream, hey, to try to get a foul. Sit your goofy ass down. What happened to Kung Pao Pao Chicken? I thought she was cooking Caitlin Clark. Natasha Howard, absolutely fabulous game. That's how you ball and bounce back, man.
Rhyne Howard, fresh off a loss, decides the best way to bounce back isn't by hitting the gym or working on her jump shot. Nope, it's by stomping right up into Caitlin Clark's personal space like she's trying to settle an old parking ticket. Like, bro, calm down. Caitlin, cool as ever, looks her dead in the eye and drops the iconic line, "I'm not scared of you." Mic drop.
So, Caitlin Clark and Rhyne Howard get into it here. So Rhyne Howard just, he was fouling Caitlin Clark the whole game, and is going into Caitlin Clark coming back to Rhyne Howard, "I'm not scared of you," saying that. And it's funny where it's like, people like these players hate each other. Like, Caitlin Clark and Rhyne Howard have played on national teams together. Caitlin Clark and Rhyne Howard played against each other in college. Caitlin Clark, I'm pretty sure there was a game where Caitlin Clark in the first half scored more points than Rhyne Howard's team.
Instant legend status. Rhyne Howard trying to intimidate Caitlin was about as effective as trying to roast a fire-breathing dragon with a sparkler. Completely unnecessary, and honestly kind of begging for a lesson in humility. But hey, that's what makes sports spicy. Those moments where you realize you just picked the wrong target to mess with.
And in case you're wondering what Caitlin Clark said just there was, "I'm not scared of you." She's going to have to wear a hard hat this season. I mean, seriously. The league is going to try to take her out.
Now, on to the juicy part, the game itself. Remember just a few days ago when the Indiana Fever got absolutely steamrolled by the Atlanta Dream? Yeah, that game was so one-sided it felt like the Fever were just guests at a Dream highlight reel party. But guess what? This time around, Indiana didn't just show up. They came prepared with the energy of a triple espresso shot and the kind of payback you don't forget.
5 from 3, 3 for 5 from free throw, right? I thought when she missed that second one late, I thought that might have come back to bite them, but they held on. They made some smart plays at the end. Good job, CC. She heard y'all. She heard y'all. She heard y'all talking that smack, man. She heard y'all. But Natasha, beautiful game. 26.7 rebounds. Helped lead the Fever to a win.
From tip-off, the Fever played like they were auditioning for a new Revenge of the Underdogs movie. Caitlin Clark was everywhere, draining threes like she had a personal vendetta against the rim, weaving through defenders with the kind of moves that make you question physics, and throwing shade with every confident glance. The Dream looked rattled, like they'd walked into a hornet's nest wearing a honey suit. Now, while Rhyne Howard's little face-off attempt was definitely the headline grabber before the game, the real fireworks were on the court. And if you thought that stare-down was intense, wait until you hear how the Fever unleashed their vengeance. You got to imagine the locker room before tip-off. The mood was probably something like a mix between a team pep talk and a WWE SmackDown hype. All right, ladies, they thought they could roll over us? They thought Rhyne Howard could scare Caitlin Clark? Joke's on them. Let's remind them who Indiana Fever really are. There's no way Natasha Howard wasn't flexing on the Dream in the locker room, maybe even casually dropping a "I'm the other Howard you should be worried about" joke.
The game, Rhyne Howard was in Caitlin Clark's ass. She was giving her the business. Rhyne Howard had a great game. Her defense on Caitlin Clark was phenomenal. But ultimately, Indiana came out with the win. Just like Caitlin Clark had a pretty damn good game the last time they played, and they ended up losing. So it's funny how that thing works out. But in this situation, again, it's two competitors going at it. And as a Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever fan, let me say this and keep it a buck. Caitlin Clark talks cash shit. Caitlin talks a lot of shit. But
The Dream came out looking confident, maybe still riding the high from their earlier win against the Fever. But confidence isn't enough when you're facing a team fueled by a burning need to get payback and an emotional Caitlin Clark ready to put on a clinic. She wasn't just playing basketball, she was playing a psychological game. Every three-pointer a little jab at the Dream's ego, every slick assist a reminder of who was in charge now. Speaking of assists, can we talk about how Caitlin's court vision was on another level? The way she threaded passes through defenders like they were mannequins, setting up Natasha Howard and Sophie Cunningham for some downright ridiculous shots, made you wonder if she had eyes on the back of her head. The kind of vision where she sees plays before they even happen. If she started wearing glasses, you'd swear they were magic.
Lexi, dope as always. Sophie, so good to have you back. Kelsey, clutch shot at the end. Dantes, fabulous game. I need more bun minutes, man. Put Dantes in the game more. Clark, you was a bricklayer tonight shooting, but you was doing other stuff, man, as the floor general. And I need you to make more of them free throws, Caitlin. But great job getting a W after the Dream beat us the last game. Good momentum to go in playing the Liberty coming up on Saturday. Still got stuff to work out, but we need games like this to get the chemistry going down the stretch in fourth quarters like that.
Natasha Howard was the iron wall Indiana desperately needed when the Dream tried to break through. You know those moments when the opposing team is charging down the court looking for that easy bucket? When they think, hey, this should be a quick score? Well, Natasha made sure they knew better. She wasn't just blocking shots, she was sending a loud and clear message, not on my watch. Every block she threw up wasn't just a simple contest. It was more like a full-on body slam, a statement of physical dominance that completely disrupted the Dream's rhythm. The paint was her kingdom, and she ruled it with the tenacity of a lion defending her territory. Every time the Dream thought about sneaking inside, Natasha was there, ready to gobble up the ball or swat it away like a pesky fly. She grabbed rebounds with the kind of hunger that made it seem like she was just picking up groceries, except these rebounds were way more important. Offensive boards, defensive boards, she didn't discriminate. If the ball was within reach, Natasha was the first to snatch it. Her relentless hustle on the glass gave Indiana countless second chance opportunities and denied the Dream the same.
There. But regardless, despite not shooting well, despite some, tough physical defense, the Fever were able to come away with a win. Natasha Howard was huge.
But her impact wasn't just physical. Natasha brought a psychological edge to the game. By constantly applying pressure and shutting down easy looks, she made the Dream players start second-guessing themselves. That hesitation, that flicker of doubt in their eyes, changed the way they played. What used to be confident drives to the basket turned into cautious, forced attempts. The Dream had to adjust their whole strategy because Natasha Howard was making it clear penetrating Indiana's defense was going to be a nightmare. More than just stats, Natasha's presence ignited her teammates. When a defender shows that kind of fire and commitment, it lifts everyone up. Indiana's defensive intensity soared because they knew they had a warrior in the paint who wouldn't back down. The Dream didn't just face a player, they faced a fortress. Natasha Howard wasn't just playing defense, she was rewriting the story of what it meant to guard the paint for Indiana, one epic block and rebound at a time.
The Fever avenged their loss by beating the Atlanta Dream 81-76. Couple things to note by looking at the statistics here is that the Indiana Fever surprisingly won the rebound battle, as well as points in the paint by doubling what the Dream were able to score in the paint. And I know it's easy to chirp the refs, but to have a combined 46 fouls is just too many in a basketball game. If we look at the Fever stats, Natasha Howard dropped 26 and had a phenomenal game. Kelsey Mitchell had 17, Clark had 11, Lexi all 10. But the real X factor is Sophie Cunningham in her Indiana Fever debut had 9.6 rebounds, 3 assists, and was a defensive menace all night.
And then there's Sophie Cunningham, who by the way was basically Indiana's secret weapon hidden in plain sight. When the game clock started ticking down and the tension could have been cut with a knife, Sophie stepped up big time. She wasn't just hitting shots. She was hitting clutch shots, the kind of shots that make announcers scream and fans leap out of their seats. Sophie was like that reliable friend who always shows up when things get real, except instead of moral support, she brought buckets. Her hustle on defense, too, the girl was everywhere, stealing balls, hustling back to stop fast breaks, and generally making life miserable for the Dream's offense. It was like Sophie had a personal mission to make sure the Dream never felt comfortable on the court. You could almost hear her thinking, "You want to come back? Not on my watch."
There is one thing that is very clear, and we talked about this. Sophie Cunningham is absolutely going to be a spark plug for this team. No doubt about it. She came in, instant hustle. Lexi Hull, instant.
The best part about this game was how the Fever came together as a team, playing like a well-oiled machine, fueled by sheer determination and maybe a little bit of sweet revenge. Caitlin Clark's spectacular talent got the spotlight, sure, but the real story was the team effort. Everyone chipped in, everyone stepped up, and that's how you turn a past embarrassing loss into a sweet, sweet victory. And if you think the Dream were just going to roll over and take it, nah, they fought back, tried to claw their way into the game, but every time they thought they found a crack, Indiana slammed the door shut, with Natasha's defense, Sophie's clutch shooting, and Caitlin's leadership shining through. The Dream's confidence from the previous game, it evaporates faster than a snowman in July. Now, back to Caitlin's legendary comeback moment. Her iconic "I'm not scared of you" line wasn't just a clapback, it was a battle cry. She turned that moment into pure fuel, and the energy translated into every play she made. Watching her glide past defenders with that confident smirk was basically a masterclass in how to own your moment. She wasn't just playing basketball, she was schooling anyone who dared doubt her. This game wasn't just a win on the scoreboard, it was a statement. A reminder that you can't sleep on the Indiana Fever, and you definitely can't play games with Caitlin Clark. She's a tornado on the court, unstoppable, fierce, and ready to wreck your day if you come at her the wrong way. And oh, the sweet irony that Rhyne Howard, who tried to rattle Caitlin with all that pregame chest thumping, ended up on the losing side again. Talk about biting off more than you can chew. It's like trying to intimidate a lion with a kitten's meow. Spoiler alert, the lion wins every time.
But I'm tired of people talking about a rivalry. The only rivalry that we see for is young talent. Right now with Caitlin Clark, every time they play and it's a matchup and the game is electric and they're going tit for tat, is Rhyne Howard on the Atlanta Dream and Caitlin Clark on the Indiana Fever. We have to focus on the production, the on-court stuff. All the other fluff, all the other nonsense, all the other things is good for the league for marketability and merchandise sales, and that's great, that's fine. And when we talk about the viewership, that's cool. Clap it up. But what you do on a basketball court is eventually going to catch up to all the rest of that nonsense, because if you're not producing, if you're not hooping, if people aren't watching games and seeing one player produce another player produce, and things are one-sided, then all that other stuff, people are going to stop. They're going to stop caring.
Natasha Howard's defense was nothing short of relentless. She wasn't just guarding players. She was shutting down entire offensive threats, blocking shots and forcing turnovers like a one-woman fortress. Her presence on the floor was a constant reminder that the Fever were serious and they were not here to play nice. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham's clutch shooting kept the momentum firmly on Indiana's side. When the pressure was highest, she delivered shot after shot like it was just another day at the office, making it clear that the Fever's firepower went far beyond just Caitlin Clark's brilliance. So what's next for Indiana? With Caitlin leading the charge, Natasha locking down opponents with ironclad defense, and Sophie hitting clutch shots with deadly accuracy, the Fever had become a team ready to take on anyone foolish enough to challenge them. The Atlanta Dream in particular might want to rethink their entire strategy before stepping onto the court again.
For them, Sophie Cunningham was huge in her return, and they just showed the toughness to persevere and get it done when it needed to be done. That's what a team that has aspirations of a championship does. So when you look at the game itself and some of those moments.
Absolutely. If the Indiana Fever's opponents thought that intimidation tactics or rough physical play could rattle them, they seriously misjudged the sheer grit and unity this team brings to the court. The Fever showed that they're not just a group of players, They're a tightly knit unit with one mission: to protect their star, Rhyne Howard, at all costs. And make no mistake, Howard isn't just any player. She's a rising force in the game, a powerhouse who demands respect with every dribble, every shot, and every moment she steps onto the floor. This team understands that when you try to throw a wrench in their rhythm by getting physical or attempting to intimidate, you're only fueling their fire. They feed off that energy, turning what might seem like adversity into motivation to push harder, play smarter, and defend their home turf like warriors. It's not just about basketball skills, it's about heart, resilience, and the kind of loyalty that makes them rise up as one, ready to shut down anyone who tries to take their shine.
Indiana Fever and Atlanta are the real rivals. They was battling it out tonight with the help of the refs. Natasha Howard must have heard what we were saying about her because she came in this game with 27 points. Kelsey Mitchell had 17 and Lexi Hall had 10. Miss Caitlin Clark had 11 points, but she was 0 for 5 behind the arc and she was like 4 for 11. She was not having a good shooting night. Her and Rhyne Howard exchanged some words, and I actually really like that matchup.
Caitlin Clark is a spectacular talent, no doubt, but Howard and the Fever have made it clear you don't just take shots at the Queen without consequences. Every player on the court is ready to step up and stand beside Howard, making sure that any attempt to intimidate or rough her up is met with a fierce response. The Fever's performance wasn't just a game, it was a statement. A bold declaration that they're not just back in the league, they're back to dominate. This match was a powerful lesson in payback, in confidence, and in what happens when a whole team stands united behind their leader. The Fever showed that coming for one of them means coming for all of them, and they are more than prepared to fight back with everything they've got. Indiana isn't just playing, they're here to take over.